Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jay Ellyiot. So today I'm just going to give you a quick overview and also give you my personal thoughts on Nanostudio 2. So let's just get right into it. So this is not a super technical review of Nanostudio 2. Instead, this is just a quick overview of the app and the many reasons why I think it's dope. Back in 2012, I uploaded a video playing some beats made with the first Nanostudio. I was already a huge fan of Nanostudio, so when I heard about Nanostudio 2 coming out, I was definitely excited. Now before I get into it, let me play you a beat I made with sounds used entirely within the app. First off, I just want to say that the built-in synth within this app is a beast. It is probably one of my favorite synths within the whole iOS music production platform. I almost wish it came as a standalone synth, so I could use it with other apps such as Beatmaker 3 or Cubasis. The beat I just played were all sounds entirely from that synth, with the exception of adding a few audio effects units. When using different instruments or synths, what I'm usually attracted to is the sound. Does it sound dope or does it sound cheesy? And in my opinion, the synth sounds dope. It already comes loaded with great sounding presets, but if you're someone who likes to get real technical with it, the synth provides you with all the functionality to create your own presets, or to manipulate the ones it already comes loaded with. Here's a few of my favorite preset patches. And if you wanted to add more flavor to the patch, just add some of the built-in effects, or add some external audio effects units like I did with this patch. Now here's what it sounds like without the effects added. Even if you don't already own a bunch of external effects units, the built-in effects within the app are really great. I especially love the EQ3B. Once again, I wish I was able to use this EQ within other apps. It's simple to use and it provides great results. For example, I use the EQ on this one synth, which I layered on top of all my other tracks. I cut some of the lows and mids and then brought up the highs. Here's how it sounds without the EQ. Now here's how it sounds with the EQ added. The 3-band EQ and spectrum analyzer really help you dial in the sound you are looking for. What I also love about this app is the built-in mixer. Personally, I just love the way it's laid out, and I love the fact that you can group tracks, which can be really useful when you are mixing down your song. Even little things like this. If I'm in the effects window, the channel fader is placed over here on the right side, which still allows me to play around with whatever I need on the channel fader while making adjustments to any of my effects. It may not seem like a big deal, but it really makes my workflow for mixing a lot easier. It eliminates me having to jump back and forth between windows just to make one little adjustment. Little details like this really make the app much more enjoyable to use. Now let's get into SLATE. SLATE is a sample/synthesis-based performance pad which makes it easy to tap out drum beats. It's basically Nanostudio's version of a drum machine. There's a couple cool and unique things that I like about SLATE. Over here on the top, I like how you can select your view of the pads. Another cool feature is the velocity section. Now you have 3 options here to select the strength of your velocity, and you have this other option called touch. Depending on where you hit the pad on the selected pad will determine the strength of that velocity hit. I'll go into single pad view and show you an example. You can use the velocity feature in any way you view the pads. If you guys have seen my video on tips for drum programming, which I'll leave a link up above, you know how much I love to play around with the velocity to give your drums a more natural and realistic sound. So having these features within SLATE is a huge plus for me. To be honest, I can mention so many more things that I love about this app, but I think the last thing I'll say that is worth mentioning is that the app is extremely stable. Ever since I purchased Nanostudio 2, until this day the app has yet to crash on me, but also keep in mind that I don't go overboard with the instruments and effects. Now we all know how frustrating it can get when you're in the middle of creating something and the app constantly crashes on you. Sometimes that can just totally ruin your vibe, focus, and workflow. So it's good to know Nanostudio 2 is extremely stable and reliable for that matter. Now I don't usually nitpick and I don't really have anything negative to say about this app, but if I did have to mention one thing, I wish the sample editing within this app was more versatile. But that's just me. For you, it might be more than enough. So you're probably wondering, which app do you like better, Jay? Beatmaker 3 or Nanostudio 2? And to be completely honest, they are both dope in their own right. I don't think one is better than the other. They both have their own strengths and weaknesses, and it really just matters what suits your workflow more and what you prefer. At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. We have the luxury of owning these amazing apps at a super cheap price, all inside one single device. So just go nuts and do whatever makes you happy. Now before I end this video, I'm going to play one more beat I made using all sounds within this app. The only thing I use outside of this app are the drums which I imported into SLATE. So another thing that I want to mention that just happened recently is that the iPhone version of this app has also just been released. And from what I've read on Twitter is that if you already own the iPad version, then the iPhone version will be free to you. And the iPhone version is just as good as the one on the iPad. So definitely go and check that out. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Until the next one. Peace.